what? I actually waited until I had the bed made and stuff was cleaned, went to deal with dinner, came back in here, and the kids were rolling all over the bed. So I'm not going to worry about the fact that I have a messy bed behind me. So this is my daughter's 4th grade curriculum choices for the 2017-2018 school year. I am using my Ambleside online. This is their recommendation, overview, book list, etc. And I'm literally taking this and adapting it. So I go and the first thing they have is Bible up here. So you've got Old Testament, Joshua and Judges, and New Testament, Mark. And I will follow that as well as, like my son, she's going to do book D of Studying God's Word. She's about 1/3 of the way done of this, and then she will do, so Old Testament one day, this another day, New Testament another day. We're still kind of doing this together, so this is kind of like a mommy and me time, very much like the boyhood one that's being done with my son. This one's kind of us. And then I found this in the 10-cent bin at Salvation Army, and I've been waiting for this forever. So I'm really looking forward to possibly getting started on this year. I'm not going to force it. It's just going to be on the shelf that I can pull if I want to. So that will be our Bible. History, of course, we are doing American history. They recommend 1700s up to the French and American Revolution. They have This Country of Ours, George Washington's World as the books you read. I'm going to have the books that I read, and then she will be required to read these. It's kind of along the lines of the Sunlight and Book Shark. Sunlight, Book Shark. There's another one. Why can't I think of the other one? But their philosophy behind literature-based history. That's what she's going to be doing for history. And then, with the history, she also has a book of centuries, if you will. I'm calling it Book of Centuries because I'm taking the principle and adapting it to myself. We have lined paper to write out any significant events that sticks out at her. We have some graph paper for any kind of, I would love to get some pictures of presidents, famous people that we are going to be memorizing and things like that. And I will put it, we can put it in there if you want more visual. Anything that would have covered wagons and, you know, things like that that would have stuck out to her. And then we have our blank paper to create our timeline in. So this is her Book of Centuries. Also too, with the graph paper and even with the line paper, if there was a famous person in history, Andrew Jackson, I just happened to see his face right there, or anybody else, Clara Barton, anything, if they said anything that really stuck out at her, I'm really encouraging her to write it in here as well. So that'll be along with her history. I don't think there's anything else with that. History tales and or biography. With that, she wants to be a doctor, nurse. This one has Poor Richard, which is a family read-aloud that we're going to be doing, as well as Abigail Adams and Trial and Triumph. I'm not going to be pushing those really because, like I said, she wants to be a nurse, so we have some biographies that she's reading. She reads a lot at the library. Right now she's kind of in a Laura Ingalls kick, so I'm not going to push that too much. She kind of likes the biography stuff to read on her own, so I'm not going to put more pressure onto her. Geography. So I did think briefly touch on this with my son's video, but I was given the whole Pegu, Mid of the Mississippi, Seabird, Hollings stuff with the geography, and I might pull that out. Really what we're going to be doing is anything in American history. we're going to be taking our maps out and just kind of learning about that state a little bit more, maybe what the representatives are, the state capital for sure, and where it is on the map if they can see it on a blank map and label it. So that's what they will be doing. Along with that, these geography concepts should be explained and taught this year, and I will probably try to put a little bit of this in as a family thing because our science, it works in with our science. So term 1 is Earth's surface is mostly water. They kind of know that already. Highlands are cooler, lowlands are warmer, again, because we're out there and into that, we're in the desert, we're in a dust bowl in the desert, so they kind of understand that already, and they know that when they go up to Mount Whitney, which is the highest peak in the United States, how much colder it is up there, so they kind of understand that already. Mountains and valleys. And then term 2, which is one I really want to focus on, the water cycle, clouds, rains, river, oceans, evaporation, dew, and snow. And then term 3 is rivers and waterways. Rivers start at a mountain, spring, and flow to the sea. Again, they kind of know that just from seeing Mount Whitney. River source, mouth, bed, banks, rapids, cataract, waterfall. Being at Kern River, they understand that a little bit. Oceans and their parts, why rivers wind, work of rivers fertile after flooding, pebbles, gravels, and sand. So we don't have that down as much. And then I think I'm just going to look up, I did find something on Teachers Pay Teachers with visual and videos, but I think I might also look at what the library has. Okay, so natural history and science, you have the Handbook of Nature Study by Anna Comstock. Then the supplies for that. There is a couple books recommended. The Storybook of Science, which I do own. Gregor Mendel, The Friar Who Grew Peas. The Ocean of Truth, or other biography by Isaac Newton. So with that, again, I'm not too worried about that. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? The next thing on this thing is penmanship copywork, and like my son, I just bought a $3-4 book at Walmart. And then for her, I went and chose on Pinterest the 30-day scripture inspiration for writing, handwriting practice, whatever. And so I just wrote all those out. I found different ones for seasons to kind of fit into what season we were in. Character, so I did some with the character. And then the next, this is for any written narration. Whoa! Well, don't cover your face so you can see what you're doing. Here. And then the other blank page will be for any written narration that she does with her reading. Not necessarily like with the history, but with anything else. Just maybe to kind of take a note about what she learned that day. Mathematics. Okay, we have Saxon. She will be starting Saxon 5-4 this year, and that is what I've chosen to do. So you have a lesson, and you kind of have how it's laid out. So you have practice, and then they're going to talk about it. They're going to explain. You have an example, and then you have a practice, and then you have a problem set, and these are all word problems. It'll all start off with word problems, and then you're going to go into a lot more, and it keeps bringing back other concepts you've done, so it's not just done and forgotten, but it'll keep bringing back a little bit of it at a time. And these can have, this one has 26, so it can have about 26 to 30 problems plus your practice. And I don't know if I will have her do everything, to be honest. I might not. It's going to just kind of depend on the day. But I do want to keep her lesson at 20 minutes, so it'll be along those lines. Foreign language. We were given Spanish, and she started Spanish, and this past semester we didn't finish it. and she would really like to finish that. So I was given this. It can be an audio, or you can put it into a computer or iPod, which I'm not that techie. So we will be finishing this. She already started that, as well as have this Osborne Spanish Dictionary Latin American edition. I don't know what the difference between Latin American and other things are, but she has this for Spanish. She also has something like this for German, and she was doing Heidi for a while. And they got to watch it on Netflix completely in German. It was the whole, and all 4 children, John was, of course, not interested in it, but all 4 children sat through the whole movie of it being in German with English subtitles. The little ones can't even read that quickly, and they knew the storyline, and they did it well, and my daughter said, hey, what else do we know in German? My husband's got a German ancestry. He knows German language, and I just handed them the Osborne German book, and I said, go to town. So she's already trying to add, on her own, no pressure, some German to her repertoire. So that will be any foreign language. Poetry, we just have poetry tea time, and we just were, we memorized Tennyson last year, and this year and this year we have Longfellow that we're going to be memorizing. Okay, then the one after that is listed on here is literature. So this says to begin Plutarch's Lives and Shakespeare. Okay, let me briefly talk about this. We're just going to continue Shakespeare. There is a Ambleside online rotation. I'm literally just kind of going through and doing what sounds interesting to her. I do try to give her a little bit of a challenging one and a little bit of whatever the word is. As for Plutarch. Okay, so this is the Plutarch binder. I do have Plutarch's Lives, a big old thick thing. But what I did was I just printed Ambleside Online Plutarch's Life of Publicola. You have a teacher one and a student one, and I'm only going to require 2 this year. I think that's going to be more than enough for us. This one is Life of Titus Quintius Flaminius. Him. Titus. His name is Titus now. And again, you've got a teacher to kind of prep yourself, as well as what you're going to be reading. And she knows that this is a lesson for me as well as her. So I printed that out from Ambleside Online. And music, we're doing Confessions of a Homeschooler's Composer Study. I am trying to get the books through the library. If I can do that, that will save me a ton of money, and that is very preferable right now. And then I just put everything into a notes book. So that's what we're doing for music. And I'm just going to start pulling what I have here. So, science. I think I already talked about it. We are doing swimming creatures. Apologies, swimming creatures of the 5th day. I talked about this in our family. What we're doing as a family. So all of us are doing it. And then she has her notebook. I purchased Simply Charlotte Mason's Spelling Wisdom Book 2. The Book 2 is recommended for grades 5 to 8. However, when I was going through Book 1 that I ended up giving to my son, it wasn't that I wanted everything to be challenging. It was that there was no challenge the further along I got into it. So again, it starts off pretty basic. So what you both do is you kind of both go over it, look over it, see if there's any words that maybe you don't think you can spell. You're going to, and I will link the video down that she talks about it. Sonia Shaver talks about it in detail, so there's no question as to what to do. You're going to talk about it, you're going to try to picture it in your mind, you're going to try to say it out loud, and then you're going to try to write the complete sentence. And I have a spy book to do that with. I am all about using what we have. So, spy book days. So that will be her spelling. Dictation, I think, is another word for it. Grammar, I've talked about this. She will be doing English 3, and I talked about this in my son's video. Rod and Staff is made for Amish Mennonite schools, and they only go up to 9th grade. I believe it's 9th grade. I think I said 10th grade, and I was corrected in this by a friend of mine in town who said it was 8th grade. So, whatever, they don't complete education and they don't do college. And the people here in town say that when you complete Rod and Staff, the people here in town that I know that have completed it, they say that you get a beginner's college education. And most of the people that have done this can skip like English 40 and 70 and go into English 101. So they get to skip 2. Because of that, I go down in English. This is very intense, very thorough, and very dry. And so I kind of step down with the levels, and that has seemed to help us tremendously. So we have grammar. All right. Then we have, I will be continuing this. This works really well for us. Just sometimes you just need a good light day thinking tree. I've done a review on them. I'm going to find you. Okay. So you have a circle today's date, and this might be what we do on Friday because I do school Monday through Thursday, but we are required to school 175 days. And so on Fridays, this might be what we do. So you circle today's date. I don't know if I can show this very well. Circle today's date. Start your day. Copy a verse or quote. You have a prayer list and a to-do list. Art and logic game. So each time you're adding what is missing. So here you've got a complete picture. Here it's missing the palm tree and the moon. So you're going to add that to this picture. And over here it's missing the mountains, the palm tree, and the moon. And so you're just going to go through that page to do it. Write a short story about this picture. And so there's your dictation and punctuation and grammar, spelling out and all that. Nature study. Go outside and make a realistic, I really like to highlight that word, a realistic drawing of something you find in nature. Reading time, 1 hour. Set a timer. Choose 4 books. Read from each book for 15 minutes. Copy important words or pictures from each book here. Charlotte Mason, or Amplify Online, has some suggested free reads. I chose, I let my daughter pick out some, and we also use Simply Charlotte Mason's free read recommendation. So we have A Little Princess, Pollyanna. She's read this, but she wants to do it again. Little Women. Lewis Carroll's Alice Adventures in Wonderland, unabridged. This is how tiny the print is. And then The Wizard of Oz. And then Heidi, that's another one that she wanted to do. So she can be doing that here. Spelling time. Find 20 words with 5 letters each. Look in your books for words and write the words here. I might even have her look it up and see, you know, what to do. So then you also have a documentary time or screen time. Copy a paragraph from one of your books. Use this page for math practice. And then fun writing practice. You can copy the handwriting here. Creative writing, stories, poems, listen more. That's what this page is waiting for. And so, again, another dictation thing that we can just work on our writing. And then you have another one. Okay, so at the beginning it says complete 10 pages each day in this workbook. 12. So this had 12 pages for that time period. For what it's worth. Oh, and in the family video, I talk about what we are doing for hymns, artist picture study, and I showed you the composer study notebook, drawing and handicrafts. Okay, so for handicrafts, we are focusing, I'm a seamstress, so she's been learning how to make bonnets. Again, I told you she's into the Laura Ingalls right now, so she's going to be sewing, she's going to be making skirts for a friend. We tried that, and she got very frustrated because of the gathering, so I kind of set that aside, and now we're going to go back into that for this coming year. She's going to be making some bean bags for her younger sister, and she's going to be making some alphabet peg dolls for her younger sister for Christmas. And again, Christmas is going to be handmade this year. So she's also knitting a scarf for my sister for her birthday. And I do want her to have some woodworking skills, fixing and things like that I don't have. And I think it's very important that women know these things, but I have to kind of figure out what we do. Every Saturday, Home Depot opens kind of like a kids craft shop, do it yourself kind of thing, and we're very big on that, and we do those a lot. And those kind of just, you're learning to read instructions, you're learning to put something together, paint, nails, safety, and all that stuff. So check your Home Depot website to find out when it's in your area, but for us, it's the first Saturday of every month at Home Depot. Alright, folks, again, this isn't going to be an everyday kind of thing. The stuff that is required daily, I didn't have it laid out neatly as I did. This is required every day. History reading is required every day. This is required every day. This is required every day. Some kind of Bible is required every day. And the rest is on rotation. So, history reading, math, handwriting, copy work, whatever you want to call it, and grammar. Those are daily requirements. Alright, I hope this video was very helpful to you. Leave me a thumbs up if it is, as always, because, you know, I love those thumbs. Give me more thumbs. I am all thumbs. All about the thumbs. Alright, I will see you in my next video. Bye. 10 cents. Can't beat that.